Hey guys, hope you all are doing really well. In this particular session, we are going to take one particular essay question and going to solve it. So this essay question is going to be from part 1, and we will be taking flexible budgeting as a question. So this is a question which we are going to take, and we are going to solve this particular question. So I'm going to share with you the tips and tricks and how you need to solve this particular essay question. And basically, any essay question, if you're going to solve it, this is the particular way in which you need to do it. Suppose this is the case in front of us. Okay, this is the case in front of us. So whenever you are going to solve this, first, do not read the case. First, you need to read the requirements. First, you need to read the requirements. Once you read the requirements, you'll have an idea that what is the stuff which you need to look out for in this particular question. So when you look into that question, when you're reading that question and you also have the requirements in hand already, you'll be able to frame your answers properly. Okay, at that time itself, you'll be able to frame your answers, and then slowly we'll start writing it down. Okay, so now let us just see the requirement. Let me just put this aside. Yeah. So the first requirement here is, what is the advantage of using a flexible budget to evaluate law services results for last year as opposed to a static budget? So what is the advantage of using a flexible budget rather than a static budget? That's what is the question. So something will be related towards the question. What is the process of creating a flexible budget for law services? Now, what is the process of creating a flexible budget? We already know it. If you guys have already attended my classes, you already know what a flexible budget is. But if suppose you are completely new to this, you're completely new to the CMA and you're first time watching my video, then let me just tell you that the regular batch, the regular live class is already ongoing and you guys can start off right now. Today is 26th of February. I'm recording this particular video. On the 1st of March, we are starting with a new batch. So if you are interested to join in, then you guys can join in. In that, we'll go through the complete syllabus, the structures, the videos which are coming online. They'll be coming in online regularly. But if you want to go full-fledged, all in towards the CMA and want to complete it at the earliest, then I would recommend you to join into my classes. So let's get continuing now. Calculate the total static budget revenue variance. Okay, so there's a calculation in here. The flexible budget revenue variance we have to calculate, and the sales volume revenue variance we have to calculate, and also we have to show our calculations. So all in all, we are able to follow up right now well with the question. Nothing challenging up to now, because once we get started with the solving, I'll have proper explanation for you. Then calculate the variable expense variance. Show your calculations. Okay, we'll have to read the question for that. Was the variable expense variance a flexible budget variance or a sales volume variance? Explain your answer. So we need further explanation on this particular question he's telling, the fifth question. Okay, so now we have an idea about the questions. Let's go towards the real case, the real scenario which has been created here. So here's the scenario in front of us. Law Services Inclusive provides a variety of legal services to its clients. The firm's attorneys each have the authority to negotiate billing rates with their clients. Law Services wants to manage its operations more effectively and established a budget at the beginning of last year. The budget included total billed hours, total hours billed, amount billed per hour, the variable expenses per hour. Unfortunately, the firm failed to meet its budgeted goal for last year. The results are shown below. So what is the result? The budgeted were 6,000 hours. So they budgeted that they will give their services for 6,000 hours, and they budgeted that we will provide it at $325 per hour. Here in the question itself, in the scenario itself, they said that they have failed to meet it. Here, the actual hours billed is 5,700 hours. Actual hours billed, and the amount billed per hour is $275. So that is a bit less when compared towards the standard was 325 and you got how much? 275. Now, here comes in the main question is, how do I actually create this particular calculation or this flexible budgeting and stuff? So if you just take into consideration, if I have to take flexible budget only, if I have to create this, not flexible, just static budget, just the difference of this. You budgeted at 6,000, your actual is 5,700. So you did not work for 300 hours. So you do not have work for 300 hours. And you estimated or you budgeted that I'm going to sell my service. Suppose I'm going to sell my services as $325 per hour, but I was able to sell it at $275 per hour. So here itself, I'm having a $50 loss per hour, according to my calculation. If I have to go from my calculation, then I'm going, an unfavorable variance of $50. Then the budgeted variable expense per hour is $50. The actual total variable expense was $285,000. There is disagreement among the attorneys over the reason that the firm failed to meet its budgeted goals. So what do we need to do? Let's read the requirement once again. And now while we are reading it, let me just open up a notepad or a Word document so that we can write down the answers, and those answers will be those final answers itself. Let's get started with that. Okay, so I hope that this is properly visible to you. The last time when I did an essay question, the student said that the notepad was not that visible. So I'm trying to put it down in a proper format. So I hope that this will be visible to you. So let's get started with the first question. What is the advantage of using flexible budget to evaluate law services results for last year as opposed to a static budget? So we can put it down in a simple format that if we are using, okay, let me just share with you the answer. See, if we are using the normal budget, okay, normal static budget, it's like, you are comparing this 6,000 hours with 5,700 hours. So if you are comparing these two things, okay, that's 6,000 and 5,700, the comparison basis you are not having at the same level. Okay, you're not having the same level of comparison. Now, when you're not having the same level of comparison, then you will not be able to get a favorable or adverse variance in a proper format. You will get an answer which is haywire. Now, let us just see it here. If you take a base of 6,000 budgeted billed hours, if you're going to take, and then you're going to compare it with 5,700, then you'll have these volume variances, but will not give you a proper understanding about it. So what you need to do is create a flexible budget. A flexible budget, what does it do? Flexible budget, we are going to have, I guess, a question is there here. The second question is, how do you create a process of flexible budget? So let us just answer here. If we are using the static budget variance, then we will not be able to come up with an appropriate answer or variance. We will not be able to come up with an appropriate answer or variance because with the static budget variance, we are not having the same base for calculation. So here we have given this answer, that why we should not use static budget. Okay, we have given this answer why we have to not use static budget. Now you need to say about flexible budget. Whereas flexible budgeting will require to take, or I'm just phrasing this answer, you can rephrase it properly. And also one more thing, if you just look into while I'm typing, I'm looking at the keyboard and I'm typing. Why I'm looking at the keyboard and typing is because I did not have practice of, writing it without seeing or something like that. I can do that, but not that good practice with it. So I'm looking it and I'm typing it in a moderate and a slow speed. Now, is this moderate and slow speed enough for your examination? Yes, it is enough for your examination. It is enough for to pass the examination. It's not like you should be an expert in typing. You should type it fast, fast, fast. Nothing as such. This much speed is also enough. You can see it by the end of this question, how much time is it going to take. Flexible budget will, okay, where were we? Whereas flexible budget will require to take the same base. That is, it will require, you will have to take, that is, you will have to take the budgeted rate with the actual hours. If you take up this calculation, then you will have an appropriate result. That's it. Now in this, you also integrate the name, okay? Like I've said it, like if we are using, so we can say if law services, this is the name of the organization. Huh? If law services is using static budget, you can rephrase this answer. I hope you guys are there with me and you're able to follow up what I'm trying to say. Okay. Now this is answer number 1. If I just, shut it down, if you guys just view it in this particular format. Okay, here we are. Control A. If I make it into normal size, you see, this is how the answer will look like in your main examination. Okay, I just zoomed it in for your particular understanding. You can rephrase this answer in any format. Okay, so we are done with this question. Let's go towards the next question. Again, I'm going to zoom it in and let me just put it aside. Okay, this has become 100. So let's go towards the next question. Explain the process of creating flexible budget for law services. So if you just see in here in this first question and in the second question, we are not looking into the question. Why we are not looking into the question is because these are like some general questions. Okay, some general questions. So it's fine. This was the first one. Here is going to be the second one. And let's get started. Explain the process of creating flexible budget for law services. To create a flexible budget, we need to take the actual hours worked and multiply it with the budgeted rate. So if you just see in here, we have to take this 5,700 and multiply it with 325. So what we will be getting is the flexible budget amount. Okay, so in short, we have actual keyboard. Okay, we have actual, we have budgeted, and here we can have flexible. So in this flexible, what you will be taking, you'll be taking the actual hours and multiplying it with 325. So this is how you would be doing it. Now you can add on some more points in here and answer it. Anyhow, in your examination, you will not be able to write it on the screen. I'm doing it for you. You have to type it on the screen. Okay. So to create a flexible budget, you need to do this. And then once you have this particular amount, you've created a flexible budget, then take out the variance by calculate by subtracting or taking the difference, subtracting it by the static budget. Now, what is a static budget? Static budget is your actual budget. Sorry, not actual. Static budget is the budget which you created. This budget, this 6,000 and 3,005. Sorry, not the static budget. We need to take this comparison with the actual budget. Okay, we have to take it with the actual budget, subtracting it by the variance by subtracting the actuals. So this 5,700 into 325 minus 5,700 into 275. That's what you need to be doing. That's how you make a flexible budget. Done with the second question. Now we'll be going towards the third question. Calculate the total static budget variance, the flexible budget revenue variance, and the sales volume revenue variance. And we need to show our calculations also. So we need to look into the question for that. Where should I keep my camera? Okay, I'll just reduce it and keep it somewhere here. So now, if you just see in here, we need to create what? Total static budget revenue variance, flexible budget revenue variance, and the sales volume revenue variance. So at first, law services inclusive provides a variety of legal services and all that stuff. Fine. So first of all, what is my static variance? What is static budget? Static budget is 6,000 multiplied by how much? 325 equals to, how much is it equal to? Let me just do it on calculator. See, I'm using a mobile phone right now because I'm just using mobile phone. But for in your examination, you need to have a basic calculator. Okay, a basic calculator is required. So 6,000 into 325, it is 1,950,000. Okay. Then next, what do I have to do? I need to create a actual what happened. So 5,700 multiplied by 275 is equals to, okay, I need to calculate 5,700 into 275. So it is 1,567,500. So I hope that this is properly visible to you. If not, let me just reduce the size. I hope that this should be fine. Now, what I've done, I've created, this is static budget. This is actual amount. Now, what I'll create a variance of this. So the variance of this is, well, what's the question here? Static budget revenue variance. So the static budget revenue variance is nothing but is equals to 1,567,500 minus 1 million. So the same amount which I've got into calculation, 950,000, 1,950,000. So what does it equal to is an unfavorable, or you can just say it UF, or unfavorable, and that too equals to, how much is that amount? 1,567,500 minus 1,950,000. So there's an unfavorable variance. So I'll just put it in minus 382,500. So that's the unfavorable variance which I've got. So what's that? Static budget variance, and that's unfavorable. Now, what do I need to do is I need to calculate flexible budget revenue. Okay, first of all, let me just calculate what is flexible budget, and then I'll have a flexible budget variance. Okay, revenue variance. So first of all, flexible budget, I have put it in this side, 5,700 and 325. So is equals to 5,700 multiplied by. So you guys need to do it in the main examination like this only. Only thing you need to add on is that what budget is this? Okay, like this is static calculation. This is actual calculation. This is flexible calculation. 5,700 multiplied by 5,700 multiplied by 325. And that equals to how much? 5,700 multiplied by 325. 1,852,500. That's it. That's the flexible budget which I've created. Now I need to have a variance of this, a revenue variance. So flexible budget, you just see in here. This is what is my actuals. Okay, 1,567,500, and this is what is my flexible budget. So what I'll do, I'll minus these two. So 1,567,500 minus 1,852,500, and I'll get my variance as how much? Let us just see in here. 1,567,500 minus 1,852,500. So it is 285,000. So 285,000 is my variance here. What variance it is? It is my flexible budget revenue variance. So we have done with static budget revenue variance, which is 308 minus 382,500. Then we have flexible budget revenue variance, which is minus, again, this is also minus 285,000. And we have the sales volume revenue variance. Okay, now what is the sales volume revenue variance? So or you can just say sales volume. If I have to just say sales volume is 6,000 was budgeted minus 5,700. So 300 is my volume variance. Now, how much is the sale which I lost on this 300 is equals to 300 multiplied by 325. So this is my volume, sales volume variance. I've got it. Sales volume variance is 300. Sales volume revenue variance is 300 into 325. So it is 97,500. So dollars 97,500 is the variance which I have got. So that's the sales volume revenue variance. Now, as you have this, let us just move forward. So are we done with this question? Yeah. Static budget revenue variance we have, flexible budget revenue variance we have, sales volume revenue variance also we have. So the answers are here. This is the answer. This is one answer. This is another answer. And then this one is also an answer. The answers which were required. And before that, after that, we had some calculations to do. So I also just did those calculations. So you guys also need to do it in this manner. The only thing which I would suggest you is that just structure it more properly. I'm doing it because you guys will be able to see it on screen in a enlarged manner, in a zoomed manner. You guys can you will also be having some same type of a box at the right side below. You also need to do that in the same manner. So now let's move towards the fourth question, which is calculate the variable expense variance. Okay, so variable expense variance we have to calculate. So the budgeted variable expenses is $50 per hour, and the actual total variable expense was $285,000. So if suppose my budget was 6,000, okay, so what would have been my variable expenses is equals to 6,000. Why is this bold now? Is equals to 6,000 multiplied by how much is it? 50 equals to how much? 6,500 multiplied by, so I guess it is 300,000. इसके लिए calculator की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. लेकिन फिर भी just to be sure, be calculating it. 300,000. So what is the question? Calculate the variable expense variance. Okay, variable expense variance. So 6,000 into 50 is 300,000. But how much is the actual variable expense? Is 285,000. So I can just say that this is the actual variance. Sorry, actual variable expense is equals to actual variable expense is 285,000. Now that equals 285,000 minus 300,000. So my variance here is 15,000. But here this 15,000 is a favorable one. I expected to expend how much? 300,000, but I have expended how much? 285,000. So 15,000 is a favorable expense for me, favorable variance for me. Now coming up towards the fifth question. Done with fourth question also. Was the variable expense variance a flexible budget variance or a sales volume variance? So first of all, let's create a flexible variance and see. So this 6,000, if I have to take my flexible budget, what I'll be taking? My actual hours multiplied by the budgeted amount. So the budgeted amount here is $50 for the variable expense. So what it should be? 5,700 multiplied by 50, which equals to how much? 5,700 multiplied by 50. 285,000. I hope you guys are able to see this. 285,000. Now, if you just see in here, the total variable expense, actual variable expense is 285,000. So this is 285,000. Now, when this 285,000 is 285,000, then there is no variance at all. Why there's no variance? Because you calculated it at 285,000 was your actual expenditure. According to your budget, if you would have gone, and if you're creating this flexible budget, anyhow, you build 5,700 hours only. So if you build 5,700 hours, you just multiply that with 50, you get your answer here. So in short, we are done with this particular answer. If I have to just share it with you in this particular manner, and Control A. All right, so this is what is my answer. Good, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in your exam also, you gotta do like this only. In your exam also, it is going to be like this only. You are going to answer it like this. You're going to show your calculation like this. Excel sheet, you are not able to use it. You will not be able to use an Excel sheet in your main examination. So this is how an answer it should be. That's what was our question here. I hope that you guys were able to follow up. We have come towards the end of this particular session. I can see this, the sunlight directly on me. It's 5 p.m. right now, and I'm done with this particular session. I hope that this session is highly helpful for you. I hope that this session is highly helpful for you and you guys can get more value from it. And if you want to know more, or you want more of these type of sessions, then put it down in the comment section below. Or if you want to join into my regular classes, regular full-time classes, 5 days a week, and live classes, then that also you can join it. The details are there in the description below, or you guys can just WhatsApp me directly on my number given in the description below. I'll be happy to talk to you. All right. So thank you very much. If you watched this till here, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to our channel and share it with other students also. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.